Cowboys need a coach who can dwarf Jerry Jones. And there's only one coach who can dwarf Jerry Jones, Deion Sanders. I have to admit that Deion Sanders is the right man to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. There's a bunch of other candidates that people are going to throw around, and I've considered, thought about them. None of them can do what Jerry Jones, what Deion Sanders can do. He can make Jerry Jones less relevant. Here's some of the other candidates. Bill Belichick, great coach, maybe the greatest coach in football history. He's out there. He's been humbled. He'd be a very good coach for the Dallas Cowboys. But he would not make Jerry Jones less relevant. He would not be any competition for Jerry Jones's post-game news conference and Jerry Jones's ability to always center himself as the focus of attention in that organization. The owner can't be the focus of attention of a football organization if the organization is going to be run properly, have the right tone. It can't be the guy who's cutting the checks and who overpays for guys that he likes and who's not willing to say, you know what, Dak Prescott, you've been very good, but I'm not paying you $60 million a year. I know you've been a great leader. I know you've stuck with me, but we have a hardcore business football decision we have to make, and we got to move on from you. Deion Sanders would do that. He would do that, and he would dwarf Jerry Jones in terms of the ability to draw attention to himself. Deion is the number one sports person. The guy went 4-8 last year and got named Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. That's how much attention Deion Sanders can draw, and that's how much attention needs to be taken away from Jerry Jones. Bill Belichick can't do that. John Gruden can't do that. Mike Vrabel can't do that. Here's a guy that is a wild card that Jerry Jones talks about, but obviously it could not happen, in my view, if Jerry Jones went this direction. But I want to play SOT number 2 and listen to Jerry Jones talk about Jason Witten, the former Cowboys tight end. Jerry Jones on Jason Witten. Play the clip.
But Jason is very sophisticated when it comes to understanding football and all the nuances. But more important than anything, he really does understand the physical and the mentality of being physical, that part of it. So without a question, he can become above high school. He can become a coach. He has extraordinary work ethic. And he is absolutely calls on his teammates, or would call on his players as a coach. So yeah, he can be a top coach.
That's Jerry Jones talking about another guy he would like to install potentially as a puppet in the Cowboys organization. That won't fix what's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones has to have his puppet strings cut, and there's only one person who can cut those strings, and it's Deion Sanders. You sit there and think, well, it's Bill Belichick. He's got 6 Super Bowls. Hey, Jerry Jones put puppet strings on Bill Parcells, and Bill Parcells left the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones, same thing, John Gruden. John Gruden, because of, the smear campaign has done to his reputation, he can't dwarf Jerry Jones. Deion Sanders can. I can't believe I'm sitting here arguing this authentically. There's not an ounce of sarcasm in what I'm saying. I have to acknowledge Deion Sanders has proven he would be a valuable and worthy candidate to be an NFL head coach, and it makes perfect sense with the Dallas Cowboys. Let's be honest, the insurance model is broken. Crowd Health puts your health care back in your hands. Use the promo code FEARLESS at joincrowdhealth.com. That's joincrowdhealth.com, promo code FEARLESS. Let me be crystal clear, and this isn't me trying to sugarcoat or give myself an out. A big part of my problem with Deion Sanders has been I don't like his approach as it relates to college football. His "hey, look at me," his all the rappers on the sidelines and the rappers part of the deal. I don't like that as it relates to college football. I don't like it really as it relates to NFL football, but it bothers me a lot less. If Deion Sanders wants to go to the NFL and go gold chain for gold chain with NFL players and wants to, be a little baby rapper like NFL players, doesn't bother me nearly as much as him setting that tone in a collegiate atmosphere with 18, 19, 20-year-old impressionable young men. He wants to take that act to the NFL and wear his gold chains and put his hoodie over his head so he can be more relatable. And he wants to invite every rap artist into the Cowboys locker room. You won't hear me whining and crying about it. Deion makes sense at the NFL level far more than he does at the collegiate level. And I say that knowing that a lot of these recruits now, high school, top-level high school recruits, because of the success Colorado's had this year, because of the style of offense, I think one of the top-rated quarterbacks in all of high school football has decommitted, I think, from USC and is considering Georgia and Colorado. I get that Deion's got some momentum as it relates to college, and again, the way they built that system through name, image, and likeness, his ability to sway players with money and with his charisma and personality, he will, if he sticks around in Colorado, I think he has success even after Shedeur and Travis Hunter leave. That receiving core is talented. What they've done with their defensive front and just defensive approach, and it's been more than just on the back end, it's been more than just Travis Hunter playing at a high level. Deion can have success at the collegiate level under the current construct of collegiate football. Name, image, and likeness, transfer portal, all of that. He makes more sense in the National Football League, and he makes the most sense with the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones needs someone like Deion Sanders to make Jerry Jones less relevant and to make the Cowboys more about football than everybody there trying to figure out how they can get a payday from Jerry Jones, because that's all that's going on. That's the problem. They haven't had a football person installed since Jerry ran Jimmy Johnson out of there who dwarfs Jerry Jones. I'm taking no credit. I'm having to admit I was dead wrong about Deion's coaching ability and his viability as a football coach, collegiate level, NFL level. I'm admitting I'm wrong. And none of this is really all that original thought, because there were people, and again, I think inappropriately, hopping on the Deion bandwagon even last year, but there have been people even this year, earlier this year, that started hopping on the Deion Sanders bandwagon and started talking about him being an NFL head coach. And when I first heard it, I was like, here we go again. All this Coach Prime butt kissing and more people doing it, and it just looked unseemly to me. But earlier this morning on Get Up on ESPN, that crew was talking about Deion Sanders to the Dallas Cowboys, and it made a lot of sense to me. Let's play the clip.
And what would you think of that marriage if it might come together, Jerry and Deion?
Look, I think the NFL overall is exactly – the NFL needs someone like Deion Sanders, quite honestly. He fits the NFL. It's a matter of whether or not the NFL fits him. That's the issue, whether it's Dallas or anywhere else. Because let me just tell you this. Anybody who knows that man, he takes a back seat to nobody.
Right.
Nobody. Not an owner, not players, not other coaches, nobody. And for him to come to the NFL right now and have to deal with mega millionaires who don't want to practice, who don't want to play hard, who don't want to sacrifice, who don't want to listen, that would send him through the roof. See, he can control that to a large degree at Colorado and in the college game. I don't know if the pro game necessarily is what he wants, but I can tell you this, if I was an owner and I spent some time talking to him like I've talked to him and understand what makes him tick, I would be trying desperately to get him into my building. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of whether or not he wants it.
So when Louis Riddick first started out with the comment about the NFL needs Deion Sanders, my initial instinct was to disagree. I was like, the NFL needs Deion Sanders. NFL, you know, they don't need anybody. You know, they print ratings, they print money, blah, blah, blah. But then when I thought about it deeper and fully understood what Louis Riddick is talking about, Louis Riddick, and this is where this pains me. Not that I dislike Louis Riddick, but you know I don't like ESPN. It pains me to have to acknowledge that someone over at ESPN has said something cutting edge and has made a point. And he didn't fully clarify it there, or maybe in that clip he didn't fully clarify it. But what he's arguing is, hey, NFL owners, you have players that are making $30, $40 million a year, some of them 50, 60 million. You got guys making 10 million, 5 million, what? It all feels like monopoly money to those kids. And the current environment and culture makes these guys not want to practice, makes these guys not want to play hard all the time. They all think they've made it, and it makes them less likely to listen to the standard coach that is presented in the NFL. And Louis is arguing like, no, perhaps with the circumstances we've set up, with the players making this much money and this much leverage and power, perhaps they're best coached by NFL legends. That's the argument that Louis Riddick is making, is that it will take a legend to be able to tame these young guys with all of this money who can't wait to hit a strip club, who can't wait to throw their gold chains on and take the football field and do their little celebratory dances, and that Deion Sanders perhaps is one of the few guys that they will listen to, who when he says, no, we're about more than this, we're about putting in the work to be great, blah, 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 that they'll actually listen. He's saying that's what Deion has proven at Colorado. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.